Hello everybody. Today I would like to talk about the third exam of the medical license in Finland, and that's the last stage of 3 steps in the legalization as a doctor in Finland. And that the phrase of legalization as a doctor is a direct translation of the word of lääkäriksi laillistaminen, the official Finnish phrase for that. So the exam is called clinical interview. In Finnish it is kliininen kuulustelu, and it is a general practitioner clinic exam in which you see 3 patients and you have 5 X-ray films. But before I talk about the exam itself, I would like to talk about few points beforehand of how you prepare yourself for that exam. So, first point, is to work in the limited license. So, after passing the first exam, you will have the right to get a limited license to work at a hospital. And after passing the second exam, you will have the right to get a limited license to work in health center. I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to do these both. I myself worked for several months in hospitals under the limited license, and then at health center also under the limited license before the exam. That is important because, of course, you gain a grasp of how the Finnish medical system work, and then you prepare yourself, improve your practice in your language skills, your medical skills, and also get paid to support yourself or those who depend on you. But more importantly, the third exam itself is based on real life cases that you see in everyday work in Finland, in the health center and the primary care. Second point is documentation system. The whole documentation system in Finland is digital. We have a software program that is made specifically to record the information of the patient and everything we do to take care of the patient. So it takes time. Every single program is really huge and deep, and with time you'll get familiar and you will work on that program without second thought. But at first it takes time to get yourself comfortable with it, especially if you haven't worked with the digital recording system before. Many parts of the world still do the paper recording. So there are many software programs in every city and every directorate in Finland. Almost every city have different program, or every group of cities have different program. So when I was applying for the exam, I actually got a tip from a friend of mine. I asked from the committee that run the exam to give me an exam in a place where they have a specific program that I worked on. I told them I worked on this program and I would like to have my exam only on this program. It might make my waiting list for the third exam a little bit longer, but it will save a lot of stress when you're sitting in the exam. It is stressful enough as it is. So that's one less thing to worry about, the software, because I worked on the same software for several months, and at that stage I was just comfortable to know where to put the patient record, where to find the laboratory, the old laboratories, how to send for the new ones, the prescription, and how to see the prescription center of the whole country. That was like I was doing it without thinking of it. I was focusing on my patient and on communication with my patient, on how I putting my thoughts into words, and how I planning the management with the patient. I didn't need to worry about the program. Third point, give yourself enough time before the exam. This is really, really important. After you pass the second exam, you are happy and excited and can't wait to do the third exam. Been there, so I know how it feels. Some of my colleagues were lucky enough to get the third exam really quickly, but I decided I will give myself minimum 6 months. I think 6 to 12 months is good to practice the primary care health center in Finland before the exam. And during your work, make yourself familiar with a very important website that's called www.tervesportti.fi. That's a website that has all the important official web pages in Finland, including the official guideline. We use that on day-to-day basis to check the doses, the diagnosis criteria, the management lines. So it's really important to get yourself familiar with that, and you will be allowed to use that during the exam. I will put the link to that website in the description. This website is available at workplaces. You could now log into this website even at home, but it will not. Many of the features will be locked because it's paid website. You could pay for it and get access to that at home, but I didn't do that and I didn't see that necessary. The other point is the fourth point actually is to have a good relationship with your senior and try to get advice from them as much as you can, of course, with considering their timetable and how busy they are. You could refer to them to confirm the diagnosis, to confirm the management, especially at the beginning. They're expecting you to ask them. And don't be shy, to tell your patient, I'm in doubt of this. Maybe I will consult my senior. That's really good, and it is a sign of a good doctor, in my opinion. And I've noticed that every time I say that when I'm in doubt, the patients also like that. Okay, you're not sure, you will go double check with having second opinion. That's really good. But of course, with time, you will get enough experience and self-confidence, and that will become less and less with time. Also, you could ask your senior to attend patient meeting, and they will be of course, with patient permission. They will check how you run the time, how you make the management, and how you communicate your management and diagnosis to the patient. That will help a lot. And at some point, I was just right before the exam, I asked my senior to check the record that I put about my patient and what he thinks of it. And he was really happy and satisfied. Maybe he gave me 1 or 2 notes how to improve it. And it helps a lot because seniors are very, very experienced, and they know how the system works, and how they know what you are expected of in the exam. So that's really important point to check with your senior. Okay, fifth point is a very, very important collection. I would like to call it a galaxy of colleagues who have passed the exam already, like myself, or those who are about to go through the exam or in the middle of the process. All of us are in a Facebook group called Lääkäriksi Suomeen, that translates into becoming a doctor in Finland. It's a fantastic place to share experience, ask for advice about the exam. There also you can find questions about the previous exam. I highly, highly recommend this group, and that you join this group and make yourself familiar with the previous exams. I will put the link also for this group and for their collection of previous papers in the description below. 6th point is the language. So at this stage, you have passed first and second exam, and you've worked for several months in hospitals and healthcare centers in Finland. You can probably speak, write Finnish language in a decent level. You probably still make mistakes, and you probably are conscious of that. I want to say it is okay to make mistakes. Everyone does in all languages. Even you, in your mother language, are still from time to time making mistakes. So Also, you probably have a foreign accent in your Finnish language, and that is also okay. As long as you understand and you are understood well, and both communication with the patients and the management are clear, you are good to go. Of course, it's always good to work on yourself, work on your language skills, but do not stress so much over that, because that will reflect in your communication. Your communication will not be as smooth. So I want to just emphasize that it is normal to make mistakes, and don't be so perfectionist about it. Seventh and last point is the day before the exam. The exam takes place in Tampere or some Tampere city in Finland, or somewhere around Tampere, and I live far away from that. So what I did, I booked a place through Airbnb in that town where I had the exam, and went there the day before, slept the night there, and made it easy for myself. I usually don't study the evening before the exam. I just take rest, have some nice meal for dinner, prepare my clothes, and try to relax and sleep well. Also, the day before, I go to check the place of the exam, and that will help during the morning, that you don't rush and be confused and sweaty going to the exam. Unless you have your exam during summer in Finland, you will not be sweaty, I swear. But that, I think that helps a lot to go prepared and well rested. I didn't like to drive a few hours early in the morning on the day of the exam, because it is a very important day. You've been waiting for that probably for years, so I wouldn't leave a chance for having problem with the car or the tire to ruin it for me. I highly recommend that you do the same. So, the exam itself. As I said before, the exam is basically 3 patients, and then you'll have 5 X-ray films. The patients are real patients, from those patients who are going anyway to visit that healthcare during that very day. They are not actors, like in some, for example, in the UK, the clinical exam, they bring actors. No, we're going to have real patients from the line that's coming to the healthcare center. I want to just make this clear. They will probably have previous records. Most people do, and you will get access to read that record. And if they have some medical health issue that have been examined before, and the management is still like halfway through, you will be able to read that and build upon it. It's not like some patients will come like first time to you and they will ask for management, but some patients will, maybe they visited a GP before you, they visited a specialist, they've been to emergency, and then the previous doctor was making a plan to management and they were doing part of the plan, and then you are part of the process. They are coming to you. For every patient, you will have half an hour, and that's more or less like in real life. Sometimes in real life we have 20 minutes or 15 minutes, so half an hour is really good. But what's really good also, you will have half an hour before every patient. That will give you time to get yourself familiar if there are any previous management. And also you'll have time to check from the terveysportti if you want to check any diagnosis criteria or any management guideline. That will be also available to you. So I highly recommend that. And the examination room, which is a real clinic where a GP sits in, but for that day it will be booked for you. You will be sitting on your desk with your computer in front of you. You will have your stethoscope and all the tools that a GP needs in Finland. You will meet your professor, the professor that will overlook the whole day, how you answer the questions. And there will be a camera also. The camera is to record the whole day, and then it will be shown to a committee of professors. So it is more than one professor who is going to decide the result of the test. The camera and the professor will be back in the corner. The professor was really nice and really kind and was really encouraging, and she was really supportive, and that helped a lot. That helped me a lot. So don't try to behave as it is a normal day in your work, and just show your best. Don't stress so much over the professor and the camera is behind you. Okay, so part of assessing the exam is your patient's opinion about you. The professor will ask them about what they think, so you will need to keep that in mind. And now I will get into the cases that I myself got during that exam. The first case was a patient with abdominal pain, and second case was suspected case of subclinical hypothyroidism, and the third case was acne. The professor double-checked the prescription that I wrote, and he approved them. Then he went outside the room after every patient, and she obviously took their opinion. After that, the professor and I went for a lunch break. Usually it's at 11 o'clock, 11 to 12. So we went together to lunch break. There was a nice cafe, and she was very nice and very encouraging, and we had chat about where I work and what she does, what's her specialty, what I like to do in the future. It's like warm, casual, and relaxed colleague talk. That could happen like in everyday life, and that also made me even more comfortable and more relaxed in the exam. After the lunch break, we went back to the clinic room, and then I had the X-ray films, and they are just photographs, JPG, and the computer, and I have a paper with a clinical question that is about every X-ray film in the computer. And so I read the question, I see the X-ray film, and I write down my answer on the same paper. And my answers were, for first film, it was 5th metatarsal fracture, and management was sent to orthopedics as an emergency referral. The second was cervical neck fracture. The management was to check vital signs data, stabilize the neck and the patient overall, and sent to emergency room, referral to neurosurgeon and or orthopedics for emergency assessment by ambulance. The third film was mild knee osteoarthritis, and management was lifestyle changes, weight control, physiotherapy, and pain medication. The fourth was normal shoulder X-ray, but based on the case in the paper, my diagnosis was frozen shoulder, and management was physiotherapy and pain medication. Chest X-ray of pneumonia, that was the fifth case, and the management was referral to the emergency room based on the clinical condition of the patient. And that was it. A committee of professor would later check the video of the whole day and then give an assessment, and I received the results after a few weeks, and I passed. Yes. So I applied for registration to Valvera as a fully licensed doctor, and I got my full license. That was a few years ago, 2018. And just by telling the story, it gives me the same feeling that I had back in days. It's really, really great feeling. You will feel like you've done what you've been wanting for a long time. That was the whole exam. One important thing I want to tell about the exam, and the exam, all the exams, the three parts of the exam, and the limited licenses you'll apply for will pay. So I paid €500 for the first exam, 500 for the second, 1,500 for the third exam. That was years ago, so maybe it's different now. Also, I had to pay for my limited licenses, the infinities rajoitettu lupa, rajoitetut luvat in plural. So I've got, after passing the first and second exam, I had the right to apply for them. For the first limited license, I paid 500. For the second, I paid 250. So all in all, that was about 2,750 euros. It's not, it's pretty money. But the good thing is you could apply to the tax office with the receipt of all these payments, and you will get a nice deduction for later salary, because in Finland, if you pay money for something in order to work, you will get it reduced from your taxation, and that's exactly what the exam and all the licenses are. They look at it as the eventual goal is to work. So you will have the right to reduce them from the tax. So my advice is keep all the receipts and keep them in safe place and place where you find them right away when you need them. Finally, a word of gratitude for the Facebook group, Läkareksi Suomeen, for the admins and everyone who has taken part in this group. I want to thank everyone who has helped me through this journey. I'm really grateful, and I want to thank you, my viewers, for watching my videos and for your encouraging comments. It really brings happiness to my heart. I wish you have a good luck with your exams, and we need you. Our community needs you, so hurry up and join us, please. If you think that this video was useful, please hit like and subscribe. It gives me nice feedback. And please comment or leave any question. I will do my best to answer your questions or make another video to the best of my knowledge. And again, I will put the links to all the all the websites that I mentioned in this video below in the description. Thank you.